is there a chance that you're Vince Carter? You know what happened to Vince Carter? Vince Carter's career got cut on that last day.
Vince ended up not getting his moment. I mean, it just depends on how long this thing goes. You know, I mean, we had gotten pretty close to a date in the summer, right? And lockdown was ready to go. But here's two things, right? It could be you could become Vince, right? And not really get that big send-off that you're hoping for. Or we could get started around the summer. And because all these main events that were supposed to happen have to happen, they just start doing supercard after supercard after supercard. Because if you're the UFC, right, don't you have to stack the cards to make all the money that you're going to miss going forward? Because people will watch. And I could end up just taking the Brinks truck to my house at the end of this thing, you know, like, I mean, really, you know, like it's two things can happen. You know, I can either not get that moment, or I could be a part of another card like UFC 200. Because I believe, Ariel, the longer that this thing goes, the more of a chance the UFC becomes just massive pay-per-views all through the end of the year.
So, but right now there's no decision in your mind?
No.
In your mind,
Man,
you
right now,
made a call?
No. Because I don't know. And again, Dana's so like I'm going to get going as soon as possible. It's like, if Dana's going to get going as soon as possible, we're still going to get the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, the moment he sees a window to get this thing back going, he's going to do it. I mean, you know that. I know that. And that means that maybe we'll get the fight.
But you can't train right now, right?
Well, I have a heavy bag in my garage. I have a wrestling mat, and I have a treadmill, and I have an Echelon bike. Look, everybody wants to ride the Peloton. I got the Echelon bike, you know, and I ride it. It was free. It was good. It works perfect. So
What's the difference?
My bike. Well, you just put your own iPad on there instead of having the big screen built in. That's it.
Oh.
The only difference.
Okay. Are you working out every day?
So I had this conversation again with Bisping. Wow, it's crazy. I'm talking to Bisping more than I used to do. I had this conversation with Bisping the other day, and he's like, "What have you been doing, Dad?" I said, "I've been at my house, hanging out, eating, and looking at my workout equipment, not using my workout equipment." It's like, it's hard to like get motivated. It's like, you know what? Monday's the day. It's like, I never thought I would turn into the guy that makes New Year's resolutions in regards to his training. But yeah, Monday's the day that I get going and I get started. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, but I did see some videos with like you and Rosendo and some of your coaches there. That's done, right?
That was right before we got the call. We're in the garage training. Me and Tai Tuivasa are boxing. We're sparring. We're wrestling. We're getting it going. We're hitting pads. I'm like, yes, today's the day. Today's the first day of Daniel Cormier being back, fully going like, I'm going crazy. And then we get a call from Brian the Bay, who's fully just freaking out about this thing about us going to quarantine. I throw off all my gear, leave Ty and Rosendo in the room. Because my phone's on me, my speaker. It starts to ring. All of a sudden, I run inside. And I go shower, get dressed, and I rush to the grocery store just to make sure we have enough of everything. I took Tai Tuivasa there with me too, and he couldn't believe that things were going that crazy. He was like, "This is crazy." I was pulling his leg. He asked some lady in the grocery store if it was real. She told him. He starts buying all kinds of corned beef hash. Never seen somebody with so much corned beef hash in my life. He buys all this corned beef hash. He goes back to the Airbnb he's staying in, and then just a couple of days ago, he texted me telling me, "Thank you for inviting him, welcoming him, treating him so well." But he's heading back to Australia to be back with his kid because he understands that now things are getting really crazy.
Okay. So, yeah, and by the way, if you were like saying there's a date on, does that mean like Stipe finally agreed? Where do we stand on that?
You know, Stipe was getting healthy. I know they were having conversations with him. I was having conversations with the company. Like, I thought we were getting fairly close. It felt like we were getting fairly close. And I believe that Stipe wants to do this third fight because he's a competitor, man. And who wants to be 1-1? Why not go try to, win the trilogy, especially when you exploited such a big spot in my defenses in the last fight? Maybe he could do that earlier this time.
But so in your mind, are you giving yourself a deadline? Because we're way past that 40-year-old.
Oh, God, I think, hey, it's over. Like the 40-year-old.
Okay, so that's just done.
Hey, listen, I'm not Bernard Hopkins. I'm not going to go to 49 years old.
You're kind of become him.
This is the last time. Well, but listen, I've become Bernard, but Bernard kept his belt. Like, don't compare me to the great Bernard Hopkins, right? Bernard never lost his title during all that time. But I'm gonna fight him one time, and then that's gonna be a wrap. I can do this. I can do this. I can talk for a living.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.